Hey guys, me Matthew again, and today I'm going to be doing another audio series. Anyways, if you're new here, please like, subscribe to the bell down below. If you're not subscribed, please like, subscribe to the bell down below, as well as go to my community posts. You do not know where you may find. But anyways, this story is pretty much similar to Hunger Games and several other types, but slightly different. It's a bit more similar to Minecraft story mode where they encounter the games at the end of season 2, but it's a bit more realistic than Minecraft to the best of my capability, and is in a future setting. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the story. Back in 2015, after the American Civil War, to make America how it was supposed to be after we broke away from the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, the voice of the people lost and are now living in a country that is military based. The moment the voice of the people lost, new rules came to pass. Rules that if you're poor living on the streets, you will be captured and placed in a new sport the American government made. It's called S.X.S, Fight to Survive. Then there's a clan-based sport for experienced players that is called CFTS. I'm sure you can guess what it means. The sixth thing about these sports is that the rich can volunteer to play, although the middle class only gets to play if they either don't pay their bills on time, or if they kill in self-defense, even though the person is trying to protect gets forced to play. The thing about these sports is that they're like Hunger Games, Darwin's Game, High-Rise Invasion, Squid Games, several games like the ones on Minecraft, and so on. It's pick how I get myself into this mess, but it's only a means to an end. Once you're captured, you get taken to a place that heals you from any health issues you may have, including any allergies you have as well. They even make you get fit depending on how cooperative you are. I know it doesn't sound that bad, but trust me, in FTS, only 2 people survives the sport. Down to FTS, where only 1 clan survives. Either way, you have to kill. Luckily, there's an option to go home or get yourself a home with the prize money you gain in the sports. In the sports, depending on how much money you have, or if you're lucky and you're poor, you have a chance to get sponsored to have a form of surgery that gives you an edge in the sports. Forgot to mention, if you win FTS on top of the money as well as the option to leave, is that you get a wish granted that allows you to get any ability that the government is able to construct for you, like wings, claws, fangs, or even various experimental powers or DNA reconfiguration, even down to controlling various elements they currently are able to use. Anyways, the present date is 2055, March 10th, time 10:38 p.m. Location, Nashville, Tennessee. My name is Bisconic Saber. I'm a middle-class citizen, and this is how I became became a self-defensive killer. This is the fight of my life. I was at the gym training my body to be similar to that of a Smilodon. I'm currently able to run like an animal, leap like a leopard, jump high like a cat, strong as or close enough to a Smilodon, and so on. After I was done with my workout, I went to BJ's for a drink. When I arrived, I went to the bar and I asked the bartender, "May I please have a black cherry soda, ma'am?" A lady with purple galaxy-like hair with a pair of gorgeous purple eyes came up beside me and asked, "I would like the same, please." "So, you like black cherry soda too, huh?" I smiled warmly. She spoke as the bartender gave us our drinks. "I do. They're really good, but I don't need to tell you that. Plus, I don't really drink alcohol. I'm guessing you're the same?" "I am. I prefer to use alcohol for." She finished my sentence. "Cooking, I agree." We giggled. "My name is Beast Conic Saber." "My name is Beast Conic. Penelope. It's nice to meet you, Beast Conic." She smiled flirtatiously. "It's nice to meet you too. Say, you wouldn't happen to be interested in having some fun after we split the bill together, would you?" I smiled tenderheartedly. "Beast Conic, your place or mine?" She flirts curiously. "Whichever makes you comfortable without feeling like you're in danger of someone who you just met," I spoke respectfully and understandingly. "Beast Conic again. Your place then, Beast Conic." She smiled flirtatiously. "Okay then, let's talk a bit before we go to my place to have some fun," I asked before drinking my cold frosted soda. "Beast Conic. Alright then, how long have you been working out?" "Since after 2021 when I was 17, I said matter-of-factly. "Beast Conic. So since before the war and after?" she asked, both impressed and in respect. "Yep, I was lucky to be in Texas at the time, but it was a pain getting back after the war lasted for over 4 years," I said, genuinely relieved. "Beast Conic. I was lucky myself to have been in Alaska at the time during that time," she said, relieved herself. "I've always wanted to go there before New Year's Eve on my one-day wedding night," I said with excitement as I drank my frosted soda. "Beast Conic. I have family there, so I think I can arrange something, but first, are you the submissive type or the type to take control, or are you in the middle?" she asked flirtatiously. "In the middle, how about you?" I said flirtatiously back with a submissive, tender-hearted smile. "Beast Conic. I like to take control until I'm ready to see what my partner has to offer," he said, suggestively flirtatious. "Sounds like we'll have plenty of fun together," I said, looking forward to our fun later tonight. "Beast Conic. Are you a virgin like myself?" she asked curiously. "Yep." "Well, anyways, how old are you, Beast Conic? And I mean no rudeness," I said with a respectful tone. "Beast Conic. The same age as you, 51, she said nonchalantly. "And still perfectly gorgeous when you were younger, I assume?" I asked flirtatiously, making her giggle. Beast Connigan. Actually, I still look the same with the exception of my height, change of skin tone, and some growth in all the right places. But anyways, I'm ready to split the bill with you, she said flirtatiously eager. Alright then, bartender, bill please, I asked respectfully. The bartender brought the bill. That's $30.34, she said in a polite business tone. We each gave 15.17 in cash and change. Okay then, let's get going, I smiled tenderheartedly. As we were heading to my truck on foot, someone with a gun and a mask drew on us. Unknown. Give me all the cash you got and no one gets hurt, he said nervously despite holding the gun straight. I cracked a psychotic laugh. Are you kidding me? Are you actually blind? I'm freaking bigger and stronger than you dumbass. I continued to laugh. Unknown. I don't care. Give me your money now. I'll give you 10 seconds to comply, he said in a serious tone. I sighed as he was counting down, and I pushed Beast Connigan out of the way as I ran at the masked individual. I grabbed his wrist before he could shoot me, or Beast Connigan, but he did shoot the air. He then grabbed a knife, but not before I hit into his neck and ripped his jugulars out as he stabbed me at the same time. I spat out his jugulars and his blood as he fell down on stabbing my lower ribs. Dumbass, I said in pain while having adrenaline pumping through me. Beast Connigan. Are you okay, Beast Connig? She asked, both horrified and amazed at my stupid bravery. We heard the police sirens in the background. I'm fine, but that doesn't matter now. Just survive the games, and we can meet up to combine forces to S.X.S, I said while breathing heavily. Beast Connigan. Understood. She pressed her forehead against my own while holding my hand over my bleeding lower ribs. The police arrived. Officer 1, come with us. You're both going to the games, she ordered with her hand at her holster. Yes, ma'am, we said simultaneously. I was patched up, and we went into separate cars, not by choice. Miss Connigan was being taken to the female side of the game headquarters, while I was being taken to the male side. When the officer and I arrived, the officer opened up the back seat door. Officer 2, follow me, he ordered. I followed the officer to the infirmary, and the doctors took a look at my lower ribs, but not before giving me a glass of water that quickly put me to sleep. When I woke up, my wound was fully healed and cleaned up. Dr. 1, how are you feeling, sir? He asked professionally. Better, but what's the date and time, sir? I asked groggily. Dr. 1, it's 10 in the morning, and it's been 2 weeks from your checkup. Also, your friend is fine and doing quite well, he said reassuringly. Well, that's good. And is it possible for me to see her before I eat, then work out to gain back some muscle I lost, sir? I asked in a polite, respectful tone. Dr. 1, come on in, Miss Connigan, he asked, warmly professional. Beast Connigan came into the room, hugging me tightly before French kissing me with need. Beast Connigan, I've been waiting to do that for a while, I believe, Connig, he said with hormonal desire. Likewise, my Connigan, we giggled. Dr. 1. Okay, miss, it's time for your boyfriend to eat, then he can work out, and so on, he asked in a professional tone. Beast Connigan. One moment. Do you have any pointers for me, sir? Shh, he asked politely. Get plenty of vitamins and eat plenty of protein to build up some muscle where you want or need it to be. Also, don't give up or you will die out there, I said in a serious tone. Beast Connigan. Okay, thank you, Beast Connig. See you in the games, my Connig, she said in a serious tone. See you then, my Connigan, we kissed as we giggled before she walked out with her escort. Okay, do you have any beef and mashed potatoes that's compatible with my old blood type, sir? I asked politely. Dr. 1. Indeed we do. Be right back. And I assume you won't try to escape, 'cause you couldn't even if you tried, he asks to reassure himself while being professional. You assume correctly. Also, what is there for me to do while I wait, sir? I asked politely. Dr. 1. There's Netflix on the TV, so watch what you like. He walks out the door, and so I grab the remote, press the power button, then press the Netflix button. The Netflix menu popped up. I then searched the V-Wars, a vampire-based TV show that is very bloody as well as very intense. I was halfway in episode 1 when the doctor came in with my food. Dr. 1. Here you go. A steak with mashed potatoes that are compatible with your old blood type, just like you asked, he says as he placed my food on the table beside me. Thank you, sir. I smiled appreciatively as I began eating. Dr. 1. No problem. And here's what you can get right now for your body modifications with the money you currently have. You have 534,569 in your account. You can afford hiding since his 20 titanium claws that are only 3 millimeters long, fangs of the buyer's choosing of how long, where, as well as what they're made of. You can even get all of them as a special combo pack for only 5,000. I think I'll take the combo pack, but what else is there, sir? I continued eating. Dr. 1. You can also get the cyborg animal ears and tail combo pack for 50,000. You can get wings with whatever features you want that is available for them, but it costs more than what you can afford, and unfortunately, that's it as far as I can find that you may be interested in. What else is there that I can afford, sir? I began cutting up my steak as I listened to the doctor. The doctor listed off a bunch of what I can afford, and I got down to 4 that'll give me an edge. 1 and 2 are obvious, but the other 2 are environmental temperature changing skin that's 10,000. And finally, environment-proof, thick skin that is adaptive to the environment or temperature-changing skin. They both also adapt to your own body shape, no matter how big, fat, skinny, or tall you get. After 2 weeks, I gained back the muscle I lost while I was asleep. Not long after I got my surgery that took 5 hours to get done, but took me 3 days to wake up from. A couple of months of getting used to my claws, skins, as well as my cyborg ears and tail. It won't be long before Beast Connigan and I have to fight together in FTS. In fact, the game starts tomorrow. A couple of hours later, after I ate my breakfast, it was time for FTS to begin. Chapter 2, A Reputation of New Beginnings. I was being prepped for FTS in an elevator. One of the people who was helping me get prepped put a tracker the size of a pill tablet that you put under your tongue until it dissolves. The person put the tracker in my back right shoulder, which stung like a son of a bitch. Once the elevator was at its stop, the door opened. I saw bright white. I felt the breeze of nature, so I walked forward and saw what appeared to be the battlefield. The battlefield was a jungle, but it appears that there's big walls that takes up 1% of the stadium that is 10 times bigger than the ones back in 2022, if not further up the years until the war began. I turned around to see that the elevator was moving up, leaving a mark on the ground. I believe the game is Announcer. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today at FTS we have an oldie but a goodie. It's a game that was popular for the Minecraft fans out there. It's the walls. The walls rules build up your defenses, offense, and shelter, of course. Now, don't worry, the structures are already made based on the randomization of how the opponents would make their plays depending on the set conditions that was given on the test results. Anyways, all players get into position, and when you're ready, send up a player, but be warned. The other players will know a rough idea of where you are, unless you're one of the 20% that set up your player points who be rigged to shoot when you pull a string that is a good distance away from you. But anyways, when all 100 players have sent their players, the first game of FTS will begin. The base I designed on a computer with the set jungle landscape has a hideout that allows me to release the flare outside while I'm in a bunker that has tunnels that I have access to that will allow me to sneak up on my opponents. But anyways, I'm in the bunker now, and I'm releasing the flare in 3, 2, 1. I release the flare. Announcer. And let FTS begin, he said enthusiastically. I have my base set up like a spider's web. When I know where everyone is by hearing small bells at different areas of my base with strings attached to each bell. The one thing I forgot to mention is that when someone dies, there's no cannon fire unlike Hunger Games. Instead, in this game of FTS, their base gets blocked off by walls the moment another player is outside of the base, putting the base into ridge down below, and trust me, those motors are loud. So far, I've heard 5 bases go down, maybe more, but I know I'm safe for now. I heard one of my bells go off hard, so I ran to it. When I arrived, I heard footsteps above, so I grabbed a sliding spike wrapped to the end of the wall. Then I waited for the footsteps to stop. Once they did, I pulled a rope to open the hatch above and caught 2 people in the trap, a man as well as a woman who must have been together because they don't look related. But anyways, I decided to go up to the surface to get a better view after I sealed up the hatch. When I got up there, I was at the 5th highest place I could be to survey the land. I found a bow as well as some arrows. I saw a player 50 feet down and 1,000 feet away, so I grabbed the bow, placed an arrow at the string, pulled back, aimed at my target, then let go of the string that was up to my face. The arrow ricocheted off the tree I aimed at and hit my target in the neck, I believe. I couldn't tell if the player was a man or a woman, but that doesn't matter. An hour later, I was in an open part of my base. It allows me to see everyone I could see, but everyone I can see me as well. I saw 5 men coming my way, but only one has a bow. If you want me, shoot me, you stupid men, I yelled. I flipped them off, and the one with the bow shot out, and when the arrow hits, I saw broken glass from a mirror. I looked over at another mirror to see that my trap worked. They all fell down into one of my spike traps, but this one only activates when one of the set mirrors hit pressed or gains an excess amount of weight, or in this case, an arrow. I believe that makes 8 I've killed, and add that to the 35 bases I've heard go down into storage, that makes 43 as far as I've grasped. Announcer. Hello everyone. I'd like to announce that there are now only 50 players left. Know that I have that. Can all players go to the elevator closest to you, or wait for the next S.X.S game? He said informatively. I went to the elevator it came from as I watched it come down to where it left the ground before the first game had started. I got inside when the door opened, and one of the preppers took out the tracker in my shoulder. Still stings like a son of a bitch. I was taken to my new quarters, and I was told to get dressed nice for the cameras. I took a shower, then dressed myself up in red as well as black dress pants, a red as well as black shirt, including bow tie. I put my fire-colored hair in a ponytail, then sprayed smoking rose spray on me. I was then done and headed to my escort. They took me over to the camera room where the announcer is. I saw the other 48 players, including Beast Connigan, who is on TV right now. Announcer. So, you're Beast Connigan, yes? He asked enthusiastically. Beast Connigan. I am, she smiled warmly. Announcer. Your name means Beast Queen in German, right? Beast Con again. And Beast Conic means Beast King, but why do you ask? Announcer. So what I'm asking is, are you two together, or have you two been together, or have you two only just hooked up? He looked at the camera with a wide grin of interest. Beast Conigan. We only hooked up months ago and hardly ever see each other because that night we met, he saved me, then we ended up in here, he said matter-of-factly. Announcer. Well, that just means you two are going to have to do your best to survive on out of here by winning the FTS games. He said, both reassuring and still keeping his voice straight. Beast Conigan. Oh, we're happy to do that by dividing and conquering until we have no choice but to team up. Though that may not be the order ends up being. She smiles with a little bit of giggling. Announcer. Well then, guess we'll see how everything plays out. But anyways, Beast Conigan politely interrupts by speaking as she raised her hand up flat. Beast Conigan. Hold on. Beast Conigan, can you please come here real quick? She winked at me. I smiled, and the person behind me said, Don't worry, I'll save your spot for you, he said motherly. Thank you, ma'am. I headed over and Beast Conigan grabbed my hand and then kissed me. I closed my eyes while I hear the crowd cheering. I opened my eyes. Announcer. Well then, guess I will talk to you next time, Beast Conigan. But since you're up here, Beast Conic, how about you talk to me for a bit? Beast Conigan. See you on the battlefield sometime, my Conic. She giggled and smiled. I smiled. See you then, my Conigan. I giggled. Beast Conigan walked off with a wave as she's escorted off. I sat down. Announcer. So is it true that you saved your queen? I did. I even killed the bastard who tried to steal from us and ended up getting stabbed in the process, but I'm still here. Announcer. Indeed you are, but tell me, what were you two going to do if you hadn't have encountered that guy? I looked to my side. Oh, we were just going to my house to have some fun. Announcer. Ooh, and what kind of fun are we talking about? I think you all already know, but I'm not going to be specific about it. Announcer. Oh, I think I do. But anyways, how much do you bench? I bench myself every time, but if you ask for my weight, normally I would be classified as obese, but since I am fit, last time I checked, I was 250.2. Announcer. Wow, you're straight muscled. We weigh so much. Pretty much. Announcer. You know, with this little romance that has developed between you and Beast Conigan, you both may end up getting sponsors that will allow the both of you to get upgrades along with other stuff. I'm pretty sure that she knew that. I'm sure that's why she called me up to kiss me so that can happen. Announcer. I bet, but anyways, it's time for the next player to come have to talk with me, so you have a nice day, Beastconic. I'll try. I went to my new room with my escort. I got changed, then I made myself a hot spring watered bath that will relieve my muscles while I sleep for a little bit. As I sink into the hot spring water, I feel my muscles slowly relaxing. The warmth envelops my body, easing away the tension from the day's events. I let out a soft sigh as my head rests against the edge of the tub. What a day. I wonder what the next game of FTS will be. I asked myself as I thought about BeastCon again, while I closed my eyes, wishing that that bastard I killed had tried to steal from us. If BeastCon would have found out that he was pregnant the next morning, but I'll never know since it had been 2 months from that event that led to now. The thought of BeastCon makes me smile faintly in the peaceful warmth of the water. I remember the softness of her lips against my own moments ago, and how she fit perfectly against my body. The memories makes me unconsciously touch my chest where the knife had pierced through. I opened my eyes for a moment before noticing that I was, well, let's just say that part of my body was excited while I had been thinking about BeastCon again. I heard an alarm telling me that I should get out of the tub since it's been 30 minutes now. So I got out, dried off my body thoroughly before putting on some underwear, then dropped into bed on my back, wrapping a blanket around my feet before cuddling a very long pillow that I wrapped my arms and legs around, resting my head on a pump pillow. I soon fell asleep when I closed my eyes. Chapter 3: The Second Game, Lava Race. The next morning, I woke up and got ready for today's post-game checkup. I got dressed, then opened my door to see my escort ready to do his job. My escort nods at me and leads me to my post-game checkup. We soon arrived with several of the horse and a couple of rich-ass volunteers. It took us 30 minutes of waiting before we finally entered the examination room. The examination room is filled with various medical equipment and a large table in the center. The doctor calls out names one by one, examining each player thoroughly. When it's my turn, I step onto the table and lie down as instructed. The doctor was the one I met a couple months ago who had taken care of me for 2 weeks while unconscious and recovering from being stabbed in my ribs. Dr. 1. Good morning. He smiles professionally. Dr. 1. Let's see. He starts checking my vital signs. Dr. 1. Blood pressure, heart rate, he mutters to himself while checking my body for injuries. Dr. 1. Any pain or discomfort anywhere? He asked, his hands gently pressing on my stomach and chest where the stab wound was. No, sir. Even my enhancements are working perfectly, sir, I said respectfully. Dr. 1. He nods approvingly. Dr. 1. Your body has fully recovered from the stab wound. Your enhancements are indeed working perfectly. He writes something down on his clipboard. Dr. 1. Any sexual activity recently? He asked casually. Very funny, sir. I know he was teasing, telling me that he saw Bisconic kiss me on live TV. He chuckled softly before turning serious again. Dr. 1. Just checking if there were any complications from that incident. He tapped my shoulder reassuringly before stepping away. Dr. 1. You're good to go for today's game. He hands me my medical clearance card. Thank you, sir. I grabbed the card from his hand before heading out. Until next time, sir. I smiled warmly before I joined my escort outside to head to the waiting room to see if we are even going to be playing today's game today or whenever all the injured players are healed up. As I exit the examination room, my escort leads me to the waiting area where the team manager is discussing strategies with the coach. The room is filled with players sitting on benches. Suddenly, the team manager stands up abruptly. Team manager. Alright, listen up. I suspected that it was time for all 50 players to be split up into teams of two based on the most voted pairings from the audience in the country of the United States. Team manager. Due to popular demand from our own the audience, we're going to be pairing up players based on their most voted pairings. The team manager announces. Team manager. You'll be split up into teams of two, and the voting will determine who plays with whom. He pauses dramatically before continuing. Team manager. Let's begin. He pressed the button to show the results of the 25 teams and their pairings. The large screen at the front of the room flickers to life, displaying the pairings. Players start murmuring and looking around to see who they've been paired with. Some cheer, others groan playfully. The team manager calls out each pairing one by one. I waited for both my name and Bisconigan's. Team manager. And finally, the last pairing. The team manager pauses for dramatic effect. Team manager. Bisconigan and... He smiles mischievously. Team manager. Bisconig. The room erupts in cheers and whistles. Players turn to look at us both with amused expressions. Guess it was earlier than we thought. My look. She French kissed me with needy passion and joy. I held her close, not caring about the whistles all around us. The room erupts into even louder cheers and catcalls as Bisconic and pulls away from the kiss, both of us grinning wildly. The team manager chuckles and shakes his head. Team manager. Alright. Have some of that for the game. Once we saw that all 50 of us are in and obviously all in good shape, unfortunately, that means the game will start today, but I can't complain given my teammate is my girlfriend. It was time for the game we're playing today to be announced. The team manager clears his throat to regain everyone's attention. Team manager. Alright, listen up. Today's game is Lava Race. Each 25 teams of all 50 players will be running through a labyrinth where certain parts will drop fast-flowing hot lava, and it's your job to run past it or die trying. Anyways, at the end of the labyrinth is a room filled with obstacles to parkour across and a snake pit. If you parkour across the obstacles and the last surviving team crosses the finish line, the game will end. He pauses. Team managers. Any questions? Yeah, what kind of snakes are we talking? Or is it a mixed pair that don't eat each other, sir? I asked with disdain for FTS. Team manager. It's a mix of various venomous snakes, vipers, cobras, mambas, and a few others. They won't eat each other, but they will most definitely bite you if you step in the pit. He eyes me sternly. With that, I let the others ask their various questions. After answering a few more questions, the manager blows a whistle sharply. Team manager. Alright, that's enough chatter. Gear up and get into your assigned teams. Remember, strategy and teamwork are the key out there. He points to the entrance of the labyrinth. Team manager. Game starts in 5 minutes. So, Mike Honnigan, what enhancements do you have that I can't see? I smile tenderheartedly, checking out her claws and double skin like I have. I also see that she has sharper mechanical sail blades on her lower arms leading up to her elbows. Beast Connigan smiles back at me, showing off her sharp claws and double skin. She flexes her arms, revealing the purple mechanical sail blades even more clearly. Beast Connigan. I've got these babies installed, she says proudly, running a finger along the blades. Beast Connigan. They're not just for show either. Quite the edge. That should help with wind resistance. But what about speed, my Connigan? Because I'm able to run 59.11 miles an hour with the training I went through, I asked humbly. Beast Connigan. Impressive, she murmurs. Beast Connigan. For me, with my cybernetic enhancements and training, I can hit 65 miles per hour at top speed. Also, my double skin helps with temperature balancing and stretching or shrinking to accommodate my body shape, and my claws are great for climbing or tearing through obstacles. She grins mischievously. Perfect. Now, let's get into our lane before we're forced to, my Connigan. I giggled warmly with a loving smile. Beast Connigan. Got it, she replies, giving my hand a gentle squeeze before leading me to our assigned lane. As we take our positions, the starting line becomes crowded with teams, each looking more formidable than the last. The manager steps forward once more, raising a hand for silence. Team manager. 3, 2, 1. The doors closed at that moment, hard behind us, making us all run. Both Beast Connigan and I ran on all fours, moving faster than the others, waiting to see when the lava falls will start coming down as we tread through the labyrinth. The labyrinth is a maze of twisting corridors and dead ends, designed to test both speed and strategy. As we run, we hear the distant rumbling of lava falls ahead. Suddenly, the ground beneath us begins to shake violently, and a massive wave of molten rock crashes down from above. Beast Connigan. Now! We jumped on opposite sides just in time to pass the lava, hearing a couple of teams burning alive, but we kept running regardless. We noticed signs that told us we were on the right track. Before every dead end, there were signs of snakeskins. As we navigate through the labyrinth, we encounter more signs of snakeskins leading towards a particular path. The air grows thicker with humidity, and we can hear faint hissing sounds echoing through the corridors ahead. Signs of snakes become more frequent, indicating that we're approaching the snake pit area. We see the obstacles we're supposed to parkour across, despite seeing some venomous snakes on some of the obstacles, but we leaped and skipped across them as fast as we could without slowing down. The parkour obstacles are challenging, but Connigan and I handled them with ease. A speed and agility allow us to skip across the platforms without touching the venomous snake's coil beneath them. The hissing sounds grow louder as we approach a large open area filled with snakes of all kinds. We jumped across and past them before not too long we see the finish line with a thin red film for us to break through. We sprint towards the finish line, the red film stretching across it like a thin veil. As we approach, I can see other teams struggling behind us, some having lost members to the snakes or lava falls. Connigan and I leaped together, breaking through the red film simultaneously. We braced ourselves by moving to the side sharply before hitting hard against the soft padding. As we hit the soft padding, we rolled to the side, absorbing the impact and quickly regaining our footing. The red film dissolves into nothingness behind us, signaling that we have successfully completed the lava race. The adrenaline still coursing through our veins makes every sense heightened as we look around. Wow, what a rush, I said breathlessly. Connigan turns to me with a fierce grin, her chest heaving from the intense run. Connigan, we did it, she pants out, grabbing my arm excitedly. Other teams are still struggling through the course behind us. Suddenly, the announcer's voice echoes through the arena. As the announcer calls out, I counted 39 surviving players. 5 teams only having 1 surviving player, while the rest hail full teams of 2. Announcer, there are now only 39 players left, with 15 teams remaining intact and only 5 lone survivors. Now, for those who managed to complete the lava race successfully, he pauses dramatically. A screen turned on to show Connigan and I earning 1 million in our accounts, mixed with 20,564 for me and 20,780 for Connigan from our sponsors, while the other players in the top 4 below us each earned less. A collective gasp echoes through the arena as everyone watches the screen. We glance at each other, hardly able to believe our fortune. Connigan, 1 million? Connigan whispers, her eyes wide with disbelief. Meanwhile, the other top teams exchange jealous glances and frustrated mutters. Well, at least we have more to work with when it comes to upgrades and enhancements, my Connigan. I giggled, playfully humble. Connigan laughs genuinely at my humble joke, shaking her head in amusement. Connigan, damn right we do, she says with a smirk, playfully punching my arm. The announcer continues. Announcer, and let that be a harsh lesson to those of you who underestimated this course. The announcer's voice grows darker. Announcer, for the teams who ranked below 5th place, there are no financial rewards for their efforts. Some teens groan and curse. Announcer, but don't worry, he continues. Announcer, you're still very much in this game. You'll have a chance to redeem yourselves in the next game. However, he pauses again, making everyone tense up. Announcer, the game just got more serious. Expect fewer safety nets. Expect higher stakes. He smirks mischievously. He was ready to say one last thing before closing the show. Announcer, lastly, I want to congratulate our top 2 teams. Not only did they earn the most money, but they also demonstrated exponential teamwork and strategy. They are now officially the favorites to win this season of FTS. The crowd erupts, cheers, and boos. Announcer, thank you for watching. Chapter 4, Upgrades. The next morning, I did my normal thing, but with the injured players, it meant that there was time to get some upgrades and new body type equipment for me to work with. So I looked at the holographic screen that's hardwired into my new room before looking through the upgrades and new body type equipment to see what I may be interested in. The holographic screen flickers to life, displaying a vast array of upgrades and new body type equipment. I scroll through the options, each one more impressive than the last. There are categories for strength enhancements, speed boosts, agility upgrades, and even specialized gear designed for specific challenges. Now, let's see. I chose fireproof skin that goes well with the environment proof, thick skin, mechanical wings that converts an appropriate amount of bad fat into fuel to allow them to burst into flames. Strength 5 boost upgrade, speed 6 boost upgrade, flexibility 10 upgrade, and cat's grace 12 upgrade. These will do the trick just fine. Now, just need to order them before joining my escort outside my room. I finalized my purchases and the system confirms that my new body equipment and upgrades will be delivered to the surgery medical facility within the next hour. As I exit my room, I'm greeted by a group of armed escorts who fall into step beside me, leading me towards the surgery medical facility. I was ready to deal with the vigorous recovery training I'll have to do after the surgery. Once we're at the surgery medical facility, my escorts and I sat down to wait patiently for my order to arrive so that we can get my surgery on the way. After what feels like an eternity, a medical drone arrives with my ordered upgrades and new body equipment. The escorts quickly unload the packages and escort me into the surgery room. Doctors and nurses begin preparing the operating table, and my new body parts and upgrades lie out on a nearby tray. My escorts wait outside, knowing that they'd only be in the way. Well, Time for me to take off my shirt and pants, I guess. I stripped down to just my underwear before lying down on the metal table, closing my eyes and moving my arms above my head, ready to feel the IV drip needle put in me to sleep. The doctors and nurses work efficiently around me, attaching various monitors to my body. I feel the cool touch of the IV needle entering my vein, and a warm sensation spreads through my body as the anesthetic takes effect. My vision starts to blur and darkness closes in. I woke up a week later, started physical therapy with training for 2 weeks. Once training was done for my recovery, I was taken to the player assembly room where all 39 of us were healed and recovered. The TV screen turned on to see that the announcer was ready to announce the next game that is to be played 3 days from now. The announcer's expression serious. Announcer: Greetings, players. I trust you've all recovered from your injuries and had time to train with your new upgrades. He waits for everyone to nod or mutter affirmative replies. Announcer: Good, because the next game is going to test your limits. The screen splits, showing both the announcer and a robot that looks like the Terminator but has a name on its head that said TBTBD on it, so it wasn't a Terminator, but everyone would be calling it that instead of its actual name. Announcer: Meet TBTBD, your new opponent for the next game. It's a highly advanced and deadly machine designed to hunt and eliminate its targets with extreme prejudice. The announcer's voice is filled with a mix of excitement and warning. I was guessing that all 39 of us players will have to team up, while the next image on the screen changed from the TBD to the arena we'll be fighting that thing in. Announcer: The arena for this game is a large abandoned cityscape. TBD will be entering the arena from a central location, and your goal is to work together to take it down before it can eliminate all of you. The announcer continues, his eyes scanning the room. So, in other words, we'll be recreating the scene where the Terminator thinks he's human from his past human life before he meets Kyle Reese, more or less, sir. It was clear I was referencing from the 4th Terminator movie. Announcer: Indeed, you have a keen eye for detail. The announcer chuckles, clearly impressed by my knowledge. Announcer: TBTBD's behavior and modifications will be similar to the iconic character from that film. It's highly intelligent, skilled in combat, and will stop at nothing to complete its mission. I nodded, already having ideas of how we could work together to defeat that thing, but not without death risk of the other players, except for those of us in the top 5 with the more expensive body equipment and upgrades. The announcer continues once no one else had any questions. Announcer: Given the nature of this opponent, survival will be difficult for many of you. Remember that only the top 5 players with the most expensive body equipment and upgrades will have a chance against TBD directly. The rest of you should focus on strategizing and supporting your teammates. He showed a training room that matches the arena perfectly, within holographic projections to help with the realism, with a duplicate TBD that is meant to be a harmless version of the real thing with the exact same tactics without the kill drive. Perfect for training, but resources are real and clear on the TV screen, but they don't show them all. Announcer. As you can see, we've provided a training area that mirrors the actual arena. Duplicate TBD will simulate its combat tactics without the lethal intent. The announcer pauses briefly before continuing. Announcer. However, due to security reasons and strategic advantages, not all resources will be displayed on screen. The announcer is ready to tell the name of the game before closing the briefing. Announcer. The name of this game is Urban Extermination. Remember, teamwork will be crucial for survival. Use the training time wisely to strategize and understand TBD's combat patterns. Good luck to all of you. The announcer nods solemnly before the screen goes black. A large door opened up before us all, revealing the training room. Okay, everyone, look around to find as many resources as possible, but keep in mind that the locations here may be different in the actual arena, including the possibility of more resources that we may be able to use to improve and or add to our strategy. Now, let's begin the search, I said in a strategic manner that made Bisconigan nod with approval, clearly having the exact same ideas. Bisconigan gives a small smile and nods in agreement, her eyes scanning the room with a calculating gaze. The rest of the players begin to spread out, searching for any resources that would give them an advantage. We found a car that's on top of a building, 4 very long steel chains, ropes, pulleys, and some tarps. Okay, this is a good start. Does anyone know what's holding back the car? I asked in a strategic manner. After a moment of inspection, Visconic can spot a large metal plate underneath the car with several thick bolts holding it in place. Bisconigan. I think these bolts are holding the car back, she called out. Okay, that means that we need to use these. We did what we could to set up a perfect trap with the materials that we've gathered. Then the second day we had to set up that trap a second time with additional materials. And now, today, we get to take on the real thing. The announcer's voice echoes through the arena. Announcer. Commencing urban extermination, TBD will enter the arena in 3, 2, 1. The ground shakes as the human-sized robot drops down from the ceiling, its mechanical eyes scanning the environment. It was time for the weakest 5 among us to distract and lead the TBD into the trap, but since this was the real thing, of course those 5 only just now decide to be cowards and run off towards the 10-second weakest players all within EBTBD's sight. Shit, should have known, I said very softly below a whisper. Beast conic and cast a disapproving glance toward the cowardly players, expression hardening. Beast conic, idiots, she mutters under her breath. Before turning her attention back to the task at hand, the robot begins to move towards the fleeing players, its gait smooth and calculated. The TBTBD began shooting its 8-barrel chain minigun towards the 15 players. The arena fills with a deafening sound of gunfire as CBTBD's miniguns ooze out a torrent of bullets towards the fleeing players. Several are hit instantly, their screams echoing through the air before they fall lifeless to the ground. 19 players left. Well, let's see how my Strength 5 boost and Speed 6 boost upgrades handle, I whispered to myself as I began running as fast as I could with all my strength, making everything slow down greatly. I snuck behind it before giving a good strong momentum push right towards the trap before running back to my spot, all within 7.5 seconds. My strength boost and speed boost allowed me to push the TBD with ease, sending it hurtling towards the trap. The robot lets out a mechanical screech as it loses its balance, unloading its minigun harmlessly into the air. But it didn't hit the rope that was meant to snap by only an inch, and the other 14 players under the top 5, of course, does something stupid and attack the TBTBD while it's down, but was cut off by the falling pole as the traveled back down from the air. The 14 foolish players launch a haphazard attack on the TBTBD, their efforts futile against the robot's advanced armor. Meanwhile, the single smart player tries to reach the critical rope, but is cut off by the returning bullets, which embed themselves into the ground around the area. Damn. But what happened next not only ended the game entirely, but shocked all 5 of us top players, causing us to all drop our jaws. Suddenly, the TBTBD's head snaps back up, its mechanical eyes locking onto the smart player who was trying to cut the rope. With a swift motion, the robot activates a hidden laser cannon on its shoulder, firing a single shot precise beam that cuts the player in half instantaneously. The player's body hits the rope and caused the car on the building to be lifted, falling directly on top of the TBD before exploding. The sudden explosion rocks the arena, debris flying everywhere as the car crushes the TBTBD. Beneath it, smoke and flames billow from the wreckage, the robot's mechanical parts scattering across the ground. The game abruptly ends with a loud alarm blaring through the speakers. Game over. What the actual shit? The announcer's voice spoke out through the speakers. Even he himself was jaw-dropped. The announcer's voice cracks slightly as he speaks, clearly shocked by the chain of events he just witnessed. Announcer: ladies and gentlemen, that was the most unexpected turn of events I've ever seen in this arena. 34 players dead and us top 5 are left alive. If it's okay hey to the game makers, would it be okay if we have a week off before the last game, sir? I asked as I barely started getting over my shock. The announcer takes a moment to collect himself before responding, his voice still filled with disbelief. Announcer. Yes, of course. Given the unprecedented nature of what just happened, I think a week-long break is more than deserved for our remaining top players. You've all earned it. And with that, the five of us head towards the now open exit, joining our escorts before they lead us to our rooms. Chapter 5, Last Game. The week passes quickly, giving me time to recover both physically and mentally. My new room is luxurious, filled with top-notch training equipment, game consoles, and even a small pool. On the 7th day, one of my escorts knocks on my door. Escort. It's almost time for the final game. Yes, sir, I said respectfully as I opened the door before my escorts lead me to the briefing room for tomorrow's final game. The briefing room is filled with the other four remaining players, each with their own escorts. The announcer stands at the front, a large screen behind him. Announcer. Welcome, players. Tomorrow will be the final game to determine our champions. The announcer turns on the TV and shows us that we weren't the only group of 5 on for the final game. Including us, there are 25 groups of 5 players. The announcer continues. Announcer. As you can see, there are 25 teams of 5 players. Each remaining the game will be a massive free-for-all battle royale where teams must eliminate each other until only one team remains standing. He pauses dramatically before adding, Announcer. But you should know that only 2 people of the same team can advance, so be aware that whoever on your team that exceeds 2 players will have to die by either your hands or the game makers. Yes, sir. The announcer changed the image on the TV screen to show the survival games logo that is similar to the Hunger Games, telling us that that's the last game. The survival games logo fills the screen, accompanied by the haunting melody of the Hunger Games theme song. As a joke, the announcer's voice grows more serious. Announcer. This will be the ultimate test of survival and teamwork. The arena is massive, filled with various terrain and other teams. Remember, only 2 players from the surviving team can advance. That means 3 of you will have to die either by your own hands or by the game maker's hands or by the hands of others. This is not just a game of survival anymore. It's a game of sacrifice. Beast Connigan gave me a look that told me she was willing to do whatever it takes to get out of here alive together, just the 2 of us. The other players in the room exchange glances, some looking nervous, others determined. Beast Connigan's gaze meets my own briefly before she nods subtly, signaling her willingness to work together. The announcer continues. Announcer. Each team will be dropped into different areas of the arena. I'm guessing that just like the films, you won't show us the arena until we're actually inside of it, sir. I said more factly than a question. The announcer nods. Announcer. That's correct. The arena will remain hidden until you are dropped in, but rest assured it will be filled with surprises. He pauses before adding, Announcer. Also remember that the game makers have added a twist for this final game. All five of us knew that the twist won't be revealed until tomorrow or so during the game. The announcer was ready to close the briefing. The announcer wraps up the briefing with one last piece of information. Announcer. You will be transported to the arena at dawn tomorrow. Make sure you get some rest tonight. Remember, this is the final game. The stakes are higher than ever. He dismisses the group, and each of our escorts leads us back to our rooms. I lie down in my hot spring water-filled tub once in my room, relaxing for a bit before bed. The warm water of the tub soothes my muscles, but my mind races with thoughts of the upcoming battle. I find myself admiring the elegant yet eerily quiet luxury of my room, a stark contrast to the brutal game waiting tomorrow. I knew what the two separate wishes I'll ask when Beast Connigan and I win, but my thoughts wander to having Beast Connigan in my head with me doing an act I won't mention. My mind fills with a vivid image of Beast Connigan in my bed, her curse pressed against mine as she whispers sweet promises in my ear. I can almost feel her soft lips on mine, her gentle touch exploring every inch of my body. The tub water grows hotter as my so-called imagination runs wild. Once the 30-minute timer goes off, I opened my eyes to see that once again a certain body part of mine was hard, so I got out of the tub before drying myself off, then put on my underwear, brushed my teeth, then lie down on my stomach so that I was comfortable because of my mechanical wings on my back. I lie on my stomach because my mechanical wings on my back making it uncomfortable to sleep on my side or back. I feel exhausted after such intense mental activity, both planning strategies for tomorrow's game and those naughty fantasies involving Beast Connigan. My eyes slowly close, asleep within minutes. The next morning, I woke up fully dressed and in free fall, with a parachute on my back, waking me up with wide eyes as I pulled the handle on the parachute in slight panic, my heart beating fast and hard despite my breathing being a normal awake pace. I pulled the parachute handle just in time, feeling the jerk of the ropes tightening above. The wind whips around me as the parachute opens fully, slowing down my descent. I saw the arena below. It was a snowy forest on one corner, an inactive fake volcano across from the snowy forest, urban ruins in the corner next to the fake inactive volcano, and giant ice spikes in the corner between the urban ruins and the snowy forest. Beautiful. Now let's see. Beast Connigan, Nigel, Lila, and Helena, I'm over here, I called out, seeing them around me. Miss Connigan was the first to spot me, her sharp eyes locking on to my parachute as it flew down towards the snowy forest. She signaled to the others pointing in my direction. Nigel grinned mischievously when he saw me. Nigel, there he is. We all landed in the snowy forest. I began packing back up my parachute just in case. Miss Connigan walked up to me, her voice low and husky. Miss Connigan, good morning. She winked playfully. Nigel was already scouting ahead. Lilo was checking her weapons while Helena was adjusting her gear. Nigel called out, Nigel, let's stick together for now. Agreed, but we should be careful. There are 120 other players out there. I looked in my parachute pockets to find a flint striker, charcoal pills, a half-gallon canteen of water, a titanium handsaw that is small and requires both hands to use it right, and a first aid kit with a tourniquet inside. Lila nodded. Lila, smart call. We would assume everyone else is armed and dangerous, Helena added softly. Helena, do we have a plan? Miss Connigan watched me closely, admiring my careful nature. Nigel suggested. Nigel, let's find higher ground first. Agreed, but we should head to the urban ruins. But you should still be on guard. Not just for the players, but also the twists the game makers may have added. But I'd recommend thinking back to the previous games. The walls, the lava rays, and urban extermination, I asked thoughtfully. Everyone looked at me thoughtfully. Lila bit her lip. Lila, you mean like traps and game-made obstacles? Helena added. Helena, or some game changes like the lava appearing in lava rays? Nigel nodded. Nigel, smart thinking. The kingmakers do love their surprises. Don't forget the TBTBD in urban extermination, but don't expect there to be one, if any at all, I said optimistically as I hoist the parachute back under a mechanical fire-burstable wings, just like Miss Connigan did under her beautiful mechanical white feathered wings. Anyways, if y'all are ready, we should get going before we're caught in an ambush. Everyone finished preparing and nodded. Miss Connigan especially seemed impressed by my quick thinking as we all began moving towards the urban ruins. Lila asked softly, Lila, hey, what's your name again? Helena and Nigel also seemed curious, realizing they hadn't asked earlier. Miss Connigan, it's a pleasure to be teaming up with you, right? And especially my love, Miss Connigan. I kissed Miss Connigan's cheek. Miss Connigan blushed slightly and smiled warmly at me, clearly fond of the affectionate gesture. Lila grinned. Lila, Miss Connigan, nice to officially meet you. Helena nodded. Helena, same here. And I see you two are quite close. We've honestly hardly been around each other, but ever since I killed that dumbass who thought he could steal from us and stab me in my ribs, I guess we've been longing to be with each other in the way that is damn right obvious. I smirked shamelessly, nodding. Beast Connigan chuckled lowly. Beast Connigan, something like that. She gently elbowed me playfully. Lila and Helene exchanged a music glances while Nigel just grinned mischievously. Nigel, so are you officially an item then? He winked suggestively. Both Beast Connigan and I stopped before looking at him like he missed something obvious on live TV after the walls. Even Lila and Helena gave Nigel the same look. Nigel cleared his throat awkwardly, realizing he just stepped into something obvious. Nigel. Okay, badge. Oh, clearly. Moving on. Helena and Lila snickered softly at his expense. Beast Connigan wrapped an arm around my waist possessively. Beast Connigan. Very official. Everyone, we need to run. Now. I began running as fast as they can catch up without speeding ahead of them. Everyone immediately snapped into action, following my lead as we began running swiftly through the snowy forest. Suddenly, a group of players emerged from behind the trees ahead, weapons raised. One called out, "Player of Team 10, freeze! We've got you surrounded." I clasped hands with Lila with my right hand and Nigel in my left, while Beast Connigan did the same with Lila's right hand and Helena's left hand before we jumped high and flew overhead to the urban ruins. Chapter 6, Miniguns and Ice. My team and I flew gracefully over the players, catching them off guard. As we landed in the outskirts of the urban ruins, we could hear the frustrated shouts of the players behind us. The cityscape was a mix of concrete and metal, with abandoned buildings looming large. Okay, keep a lookout for any EBTBTs, just in case, while watching out for players. When we turned the corner, we saw around 25 dead players with not one but 3 sets of minigun firing string marks, before seeing 3 of them walking away in a patrol-like formation. My group paused around the corner, eyes widening at the sight of the corpses. 3 TBTBDs walked away casually, their miniguns smoking. Beast Connigan whispered intensely. Beast Connigan. Those miniguns. Lila nodded. Lila. We're probably walking into a trap. Let's get up on the highest building while we have the chance. We heard the TBTBDs shooting at our 5 assailants as we moved. Quickly and quietly, the group moved to scale the closest skyscraper. Helena noted softly. Helena. They're picking off the players that pursued us. Reaching the rooftop safely, we all caught our breaths and looked out across the city. Suddenly, Nigel pointed. Nigel, look. We looked at the 3 TBTBDs. Those suckers took out 30 or so players. I looked over at the surrounding landscape, getting a strategic idea. Okay, let's see. I'd suggest staying away from the volcano, period. I wouldn't advise going to the snowy forest when the volcano erupts. The forest would catch on fire, not to mention the smoke caused by the cedar trees. I wouldn't recommend staying here either. We don't know when these ruins will be, well, ruined. So we should head to the ice spikes. They'll melt and create a barrier when the lava comes, I said as I got my parachute ready, waiting patiently for the others to follow suit as I worked. The others nodded in agreement, preparing their own parachutes. Beast-Connigan praised my strategy. Beast-Connigan. Good thinking. The ice spikes are our best bet now. With parachutes ready, the group jumped off the roof, gliding towards the icy landscape in the distance. We could see players below killing each other, others running and hiding. As we glided towards the ice spikes, the cold wind whipped around us. The landscape below transformed from urban decay to a frozen wasteland. The ice spikes jutted up from the ground like jagged teeth, creating a treacherous but potentially safe haven from the impending volcano eruption. We landed in an opening within the largest ice spike before we began repacking the parachutes back into the bags. Okay, we just need you stay here for now, so tell me, what all do you have that ain't a flint striker, charcoal pills, a half-gallon canteen of water, a titanium handsaw, and a first aid kit with a tourniquet inside? I asked strategically. The group finished repacking their parachutes and looked at each other, taking stock of their gear. Lila. I've got some high-calorie energy bars, a flashlight, and a multi-tool. Nigel listed. Nigel. I have a sleeping bag, some dry socks, and a compass. I looked at Beast-Connigan patiently as she rummaged through her bag, pulling out items. Beast-Connigan. I've got a small camp stove with fuel, a mess kit, some water purification tablets, a small first aid kit with bandages and anesthetic wipes, and a whistle for signaling. Helena spoke up, opening her backpack to reveal its contents. Helena. I've got a small tent, some extra clothes, a headlamp, a pocket knife, and an emergency blanket. Oh, and I also have a couple of protein shake packets. Okay, let's each only eat half a protein bar, eat the other half at instinctive lunchtime, then we can set up the small camp stove as the sun sets, but in the meantime we can work out, get to know each other's strengths and weaknesses, even decide which 3 of 5 of us will get sacrificed so that the other 2 may live, unless if y'all want me to let the game makers decide that one for us. I said optimistically realistic. The group exchanged glances, appreciative of my practical and optimistic approach. Nigel spoke first. Nigel. I'm all for getting to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. As for the sacrifice, I'd rather we decide that among ourselves and leave it to the game makers. The others nodded in agreement. Well, I'm not going to let y'all get in the way of Beast-Connigan and I having children when we survive this last game. That's assuming you want to survive to see it, or when our love thrives that far, my love. I asked with tender-hearted love and hope. Beast-Connigan blushed at my tender words, her heart swelling with affection. She nodded enthusiastically, her eyes shining with love. Beast-Connigan. Of course I want to survive with you, my love. I want to see our love grow and flourish beyond this game. I smiled tender-heartedly as I nodded. You three don't have family of your own like husbands, wife, and children, would you three? I asked considerately. Nigel answered first. Nigel. Nope. No family. I'm a lone wolf. No wife, no kids, no girlfriend. Helena and Lila exchanged glances, then spoke almost simultaneously. Lila. Same. Helena. No family, no boyfriend or husband, Helena added. Then sounds like you three have nothing to lose, unlike Beast Connigan and I. It was clear with that information what I was suggesting those three do, while Beast Connigan and I both split a protein bar. The three listened intently, understanding my implication. There was a tense moment of silence as they processed my words. Nigel finally broke the silence. Nigel, you want us to volunteer to be sacrifices? His voice was steady, but there was an underlying tension. Nigel, for your love to live? Just don't make us have to be the ones to put you three down, okay? I smiled warmly as I pat Nigel's shoulder. The three of them looked at each other, a silent conversation passing between them. Finally, Lila spoke up. Lila, we understand. If it means you two have a chance to make it out alive and have a future together, then it's a small price to pay. Thank you for your understanding, Lila, Helena, and Nigel. My vision suddenly blurred as I, for some reason, lose my motor control and my body for a second. One eye, I could see Beast Connigan and the others holding me, while the other eye, I saw a veteran medic who was panicking over me for some reason. Before my vision and body control was back, and I could truly see Beast Connigan and the other three holding me. What the actual hell? Beast Connigan's face was filled with concern and fear as she helped hold me up. Beast Connigan, what happened? Your eyes glazed over for a moment, and your body went limp. Nigel was checking my pulse while Lila and Helena kept a steady grip. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I saw a war medic panicking over me for some reason, while still seeing you four at the same time. I said, completely baffled, but I have my suspicions, though I kept those to myself for now. Helena, that's weird, Helena muttered. Lila, do you feel okay now? No dizziness or anything? Nigel asked, watching me closely. He was no doctor, but he knew the signs of a concussion or worse. Nigel, you're not hiding something from us, are you? Beast Connigan, my love. Did you wake up in free fall like I did, or did you jump off the plane? Beast Connigan's eyes widened slightly as she remembered the strange sensation of waking up midair. Beast Connigan. Yes, I woke up falling from the plane. It was terrifying. She looked at me with a mix of concern and confusion. Beast Connigan. But why would we both wake up like that? Did you three jump out of the plane yourselves? I looked at Lila, Nigel, and Helena. Lila. Yes, Lila answered. Nigel. We jumped off. Why? Nigel added. Helena. Are you kidding at something? Helena watched me carefully, noticing my thoughtful expression. Helena. You have a theory, don't you? She asked softly. I have a suspicion, but I'll have to test it if Bisconic and I's wishes are denied the first time before joining the CFTS for the second wish. I know they won't deny us on, but until then I'll keep that to myself. Bisconigan looked at me curiously. Bisconigan, you're being very mysterious, but I trust you. She squeezed my hand reassuringly. Bisconigan, if you think it's important to keep quiet for now, then we'll wait. The others nodded in agreement. Thank you for your understanding. Unconsciously, I looked at Lila, Nigel, and Helene like they'd die for real, while unconsciously looking at Biscon and like we'll still be living, but was consciously skeptical of my suspicions. I shook my head out of my skepticism and got my eyes back on the metaphorical ball. Biscon again, my love. Please let me know if you ever experienced something similar to what had just happened to me, okay? Bisconigan, of course. Bisconigan replied softly, noticing in a strange way I looked at Lila, Nigel, and Helena. Bisconigan, I'll let you know immediately if something like that happens again. She watched as I shook my head slightly, trying to clear my thoughts. Thank you, my love. But anyways, time to get to know each other. We talked, worked out, ate lunch, looked out around the entrance of the opening of the large ice spike we were in, and did more of the same, taking shifts every hour when the night came and went on as the ground slowly rumbled from the volcano. Chapter 7 Eruption. As the night wore on, the shaking beneath my feet grew more intense. Bisconigan, something's not right. Bisconigan murmured, looking towards the volcano in the distance. The others continued sleeping as Bisconigan watched the hot smoke billowed from the mouth of the volcano. As Bisconigan's shift was about to end, she shook me awake for my shift more than necessary. What's going on, my love? Other than it being... I looked out to see the volcano smoking and felt the ever-growing rumble. Oh, I'd say it'll erupt, give or take sometime around sunrise. And it's what, maybe 2-ish in the morning, my love? Bisconigan nodded, her eyes filled with worry. Bisconigan, yes, it's around 2 a.m. She looked back at the volcano, her heart racing as the rumbling grew louder. Bisconigan, I've never seen an eruption before. Do you think we're in danger? Can't say about the possible fireballs, but the lava will cool off when it comes into contact with the ice spikes around this corner of the arena, but not before taking out the snowy forest and the urban ruins beside it. First, how many players do you think are left after the holographic projection lit up the sky of the 57 players of 125 we saw who were previously dead, my love? I asked reasonably. Bisconigan thought for a moment, her brow furrowing in concentration. If my calculations are correct, there were originally 125 players and 57 had been shown killed, according to the holographic projection. That means there are still 68 players left, including us, so we don't know how many players of those remain 68 that are alive who had fallen after the projection. Well, anyways, get some sleep. It's my turn anyways to keep a watch out. I kissed her cheek. He's gone again. Mm-hmm, she murmured softly, allowing herself to lean into my kiss briefly before settling down to rest. Beast con again. Wake me if anything changes. She drifted off to sleep, trusting me completely with keeping them all safe during this tense period. The volcano continued to rumble menacingly in the distance. I saw maybe 20 or so players killing each other on the volcano 9/10 of a mile out. Meanwhile, Bisconigan slept soundly, unaware of the escalating violence unfolding nearby. Suddenly, a massive explosion echoed through the air, causing the ground to shake even more violently. I looked up to see a huge plume of smoke and ash billowing into the sky from the volcano. The others wake up immediately. Everyone quickly take the blankets and use them to cover the entrance the best you can to block the ash from getting in, I said with wide strategic eyes. Everyone sprang into action, grabbing blankets and covering the entrance to the ice spike as best we could. Miss Conigan was the first to fully wake up, her eyes wide with concern as she helped secure the makeshift barrier. Miss Conigan, what's happening? She demanded urgently, her voice shaking slightly. The volcano erupted earlier than expected, I said as we all hold the blankets tightly against all sides of the entrance. The blankets fluttered as strong winds carried ash and debris towards our makeshift shelter. Miss Conigan clung to the blanket tightly, her fingers turning white from the force of her grip. Miss Conigan, will this hold? She asked, her voice muffled by the fabric covering her mouth. Hey, Miss Conigan, wasn't two of the biomes from the walls a volcano and ice spikes? Now that I'm thinking about it, I asked in remembrance of when I was at the top of my bunker during the first game, the walls. Miss Conigan, yes, it was. She confirmed, her voice just above a whisper. The shelter held steady against the ash storm, but I could feel the heat radiating from outside. Miss Conigan, the designers were clever. They knew this might happen eventually. Yeah, but it's still a pain in the ass, I said, struggling a little from the wind and ash blowing against the blankets. After 5 minutes, the wind and ash stopped blowing. Think we should take the blankets down? I asked with curious concern of what the arena looks like now, despite knowing that the lava would stop at the border of the ice spikes once they start melting from the lava. Miss Conigan, wait a minute. Miss Conigan advised carefully. She listened intently for any signs of the storm picking back up. After a full minute of silence, she nodded. Miss Conigan, carefully remove the blankets. Let's see what we're dealing with. Okay. When we opened a crack, we saw the entire arena was covered in ash and soot. The lava was flowing quickly, already causing the snowy forest to start to catch on fire, while the urban ruins began to slowly collapse in on themselves. But the lava hadn't yet come this way, so that the giant ice spikes at its core Nurse boarder could melt and stop the flow. Beast Connigan peeked out cautiously, taking in the sight of the completely transformed landscape. She watched as the once pristine snowy forest was now a burning inferno, and the urban ruins were crumbling under the heat. The ice spikes, however, remained intact for now. At least the ice spikes at the border will cool the lava once they melt from the lava's heat, I said reassuringly, knowing that the lava would at some point come this way. As if on cue, a massive wave of lava began to flow towards the ice spikes, the heat becoming unbearable even from this distance. These conic and could feel the ground trembling beneath her feet. Beast Connigan, how long do you think it'll take for the ice to melt? Well, since it's fast-flowing lava, it has a temperature of around 1,000 to 2,000 degrees. The ice will melt as soon as it's close enough, I said informatively with learned information. Beast Connigan, so not long, she muttered, watching as the lava reached the ice spikes. The melting began instantly, massive clouds of steam billowing into the air as the ice began to disappear. The lava slowed considerably as it hit the ice, the extreme temperature causing the ice to melt at an incredible rate. The cold ice at the border caused the lava to cool down into obsidian, stopping it completely. The volcano even stopped producing lava. Obviously, we don't have anything to worry about, at least from the lava. She let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. Beast Connigan, true, but we still have to cross what used to be these biomes. She pointed out, gesturing towards the smoldering ruins in the burning forest. Beast Connigan, and the smoke is becoming thick over at the forest, but look, the smoke is exiting the arena instead of filling it. I pointed at the smoke rising up over the border that made up the square arena. Beast Connigan, you're right. The smoke's being drawn upwards instead of spreading across the arena. She breathed a little easier, knowing that at least they wouldn't be choked by smoke. Beast Connigan, still, those ruins are unstable now. He watched as more buildings collapsed under their own weight and heat. Yes, oh, we're not going anywhere near there for now, so we just have to wait it out until tonight. Beast Connigan, smart, she agreed, waiting as the sun began to rise slowly, casting an eerie orange and red glow over the destroyed biomes, the smoke thinning out slightly, making it easier to see. Beast Connigan, do you hear that? She asked, suddenly her brows furrowing as she listened carefully. She suddenly began to collapse. I caught her as she collapsed. Beast Connigan, do you see what I saw? Do you see the veteran and medic? She didn't respond for a minute until she began moving again. She blinked a few times, regained her focus, and pushing herself up with my help. Beast Connigan, yes, I saw him and you with the group around me simultaneously on opposite optical views, she said, her voice still a bit groggily. She looked around, trying to get her bearings. Beast Connigan, what happened? Helena, Nigel, and Lila all looked just as concerned with Miss Connigan as they were with me, but hearing and seeing her experience the same thing I did only solidified my suspicions further. You just experienced what I did, my love. Her expression shifted from confusion to understanding in an instant. Miss Connigan, that was... It happened to both of us, she whispered, her heart pounding. She looked at the others, who wore matching expressions of concern and worry. Miss Connigan, that was like seeing two different realities happening at once. Exactly, but you must now know my suspicions and the urgency to keep it quiet for now, right? Lila, Nigel, and Helena looked at me warily, but kept to our agreement not to question my reasoning to keep my suspicions secret. She nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. Miss Connigan, yes, we need to keep this quiet for now, she agreed softly, looking at each of their faces to ensure they understand the importance of secrecy. Miss Connigan, but what does this mean? Why did we both see that? Let's not talk about it right now. We need to prepare for... An arrow suddenly flew and shot through Nigel's right eye, hitting the back of his eye socket. Chapter 7, Sacrifices. Miss Connigan's eyes widened in horror as Nigel crumpled to the ground, blood pouring from his eye socket. She reacted instantly, rushing to his side and pressing her hands against the wound to staunch the bleeding. Miss Connigan, Nigel, she shouted, her voice laced with panic. I placed my fingers to Nigel's neck with wide, rational eyes. I couldn't find any pulse. Ladies, he's dead. We have to leave right now. But grab what you can before we do. Lila and Helena sprang into action immediately, grabbing essential supplies and weapons with shaking hands. Miss Connigan hesitated for a moment longer beside Nigel's lifeless body, tears streaming down her face. Miss Connigan, we can't just leave him, he whispered desperately. We have to, my love. Please don't make me slap the shock out of you, Miss Connigan. Her tears continued to fall as she nodded slowly, understanding the urgency despite her grief. Miss Connigan, I'm sorry. She sniffed hard, wiping her eyes quickly before grabbing a few items herself. She looked up at me with reddened eyes. Miss Connigan, let's go. Miss Connigan and I used our wings to fly out while holding Lila and Helena over the hot but slowly cooling up, hitting in a metal that had been lava, heading towards the disabled volcano. But one of the few remaining players got another lucky shot, their arrow going straight through Lila's back, making her gasp and loose in her grip to the point that she slipped from my hands out of my control. Shit! Lila was engulfed in a still slightly low viscosity lava that not only burnt her, but cooled around her body like she was nothing more than a made fossil. Gah, lucky bastard. Miss Connigan's eyes widened in horror at Lila's fall, a scream catching in her throat. Miss Connigan, no, she choked out, gripping Helena tighter. Her wings beat fast after nearly losing control in her panic. Beast Connigan, we need to. Her voice broke. No, it was pointless. It'll be a while before the other surviving players come up here with the slowly cooling lava. Also, my love, save your grief for after the game is done. We still have our future together after all. So please don't dare to lose your edge now. I kissed her cheek while looking into her eyes with serious, unfazed eyes, making her realize that I thrive in this chaos scarily. Her eyes softened briefly at the kiss and my words. Finding strength in my calm demeanor, she took a deep breath, composing herself. Beast Connigan, you're right, she whispered, her voice steady once more. Beast Connigan, I can't fall apart now. She looked around, assessing their surroundings. Helena, are you okay? Or do I need to slap the shock out of you? Please say you are and that I don't have to. Helena blinked rapidly, trying to shake off the shock and horror of what had just happened. She nodded slowly. Helena, I'm okay, she stuttered, her voice trembling slightly. Helena, I'm okay. I'm just... She took a deep breath. Helena, I'm okay. Good. I'd rather slap a girl in shock than slap a girl who'll kick my ass because of it when it was unnecessary. I placed my hand on her shoulder reassuringly. Helena managed a weak smile at my reassurance, appreciating the attempt to lighten the mood despite the grim situation. She leaned into my hands briefly before straightening up. Helena, thanks. I think I needed that. She glanced back towards where Lila had fallen. Helena, what do we do now? We find shelter. Plus, since this volcano is fake, we can trust that it won't go off again. Beast Connigan. Right. Beast Connigan's gaze drifted back to the lava-covered area where Lila had fallen. Her heart heavy, but she pushed the grief aside, focusing on survival. Beast Connigan, we should find a cave or some sort of overhang to shelter under just in case. Just be careful on our descent into the volcano, ladies. We started our descent. Beast Connigan led the way carefully, her wings folded tightly against her back as he navigated the treacherous terrain. Helena followed closely behind, her steps cautious and deliberate. The heat was still intense but bearable as we descended deeper into the volcano. After nearly an hour, we found a good spot to shelter. Not only did we have the high ground, but we could see the opening beneath us where I figure the remaining surviving players would enter from, giving us a good vantage point. This'll work nicely. The shelter was a perfect vantage point, offering both protection and a clear view of the entrance below. Beast Connigan sailed against the rocky wall, her wings wrapping around Helena protectively as she scanned the horizon for any signs of movement. Helena, we should rest here, she murmured softly. You both do that. I'm too filled with adrenaline to sleep right now, I said honestly and strategically, knowing that I can work on defenses while they sleep. Helena nodded wearily and leaned into Beast Connigan's embrace, closing her eyes as exhaustion overwhelmed her. Miss Conigan watched me with a mix of gratitude and concern as I began to fortify their shelter, her hand gently stroking Helena's hair. Miss Conigan, be careful. I'll try, my love. Sleep well. As time passed, I had carved out rock spikes going downwards by using the fire that my wings create to melt them into the shape that I needed. I even smoothed out any potential ascending climbable areas that would allow the surviving players to reach us into slippery, smooth, obsidian walls. Miss Conigan slept deeply, her wings twitching occasionally as her mind wandered through dark, restless dreams. Helena, too, was lost in a turbulent sleep, her body pressed tightly against Miss Conigan's as she sought comfort and warmth. Once I was done, I joined them in their sleep, resting my head in Miss Conigan's lap like a cat adoring his mistress. As the hours passed, Miss Conigan stirred slightly, her hand automatically reaching down to gently stroke my hair as I slept in her lap. Helena shifted too, turning to face us both and wrapping an arm around my waist possessively in her sleep. I stirred a little before waking up fully to the sight of Miss Conigan's loving smile. Her smile softened, watching me wake up. Miss Conigan, sleep well? She asked in a whisper, her fingers continuing to gently stroke my hair. Helena stirred at the sound of my movement, but remained mostly asleep, her face resting against my shoulder. Miss Conigan, you overdid it, repairing our defenses? I need to gain more body fat to make up for the amount I used up with my wings, my love. I said, slightly dizzy, but I'll manage. Miss Conigan's expression filled with concern as she noticed my dizziness. Miss Conigan, you need to eat more, she said firmly, her hand moving from my hair to my cheek, gently turning my face towards hers. Miss Conigan, I won't have you pushing yourself too hard and getting hurt. Agreed. However, I'll manage, my love. I just need to not use the fire ability that comes with my wings for a while, I said with both understanding and reason. She nodded slowly, her thumb brushing gently over my cheekbone. Miss Conigan, all right, but if it becomes too much, you tell me immediately. No heroic stupidity, understood? She looked at me sternly, her gaze softening again a moment later. Naturally, mistress, my love. I French kissed her affectionately, letting the words sink into her. Her heart skipped a beat at the height of a mix of surprise and pleasure washing over her features. She deepened the kiss immediately, her hands moving to cup my face tenderly. Miss Conigan, only you can get away with that name, she whispered against my lips, grinning softly. Helena giggled, ruining the moment as we both turned our heads slowly to look at her. She blinked, realizing that she had been caught in the moment. Her face flushed slightly as she looked back at us both, her arms wrapping tight around my waist possessively. Helena, too cute, she muttered, bearing her face back into my shoulder. Helena, stupid lovebirds. You know you're asking to be tickled by these stupid lovebirds, right, Helena? Miss Conigan and I both smirked playfully. Helena's eyes widened in mock horror her arms turning around me protectively. Helena. No, technically, I swear. If you two start out, she broke off into a fit of giggles, her threat completely ruined by her laughter. The sounds of footsteps caught my attention, but they weren't human movements. They were mechanical. Shit. We need to get out of here now. A slightly melted TBTBD with a 5-barrel chain minigun showed up, but hadn't noticed us yet. We quickly stood up, Beacon and I preparing our mechanical wings for our escape. Beaconican's expression turned serious. Mechanical wings unfolded with a soft whir. He glanced at Helena, who was already on her feet and ready to move. The mechanical bot hadn't spotted us yet, but it was only a matter of time. Beaconican, where to? She asked urgently. Top of the mouth of the volcano above us. Beaconican and I grabbed Helena's hands as we both flew up as fast as we could, but not without drawing the TBTBD's attention. As soon as we took off, the TBTBD's mechanical head snapped up, its glowing red eyes looking onto our fleeing figures. It let out a loud mechanical screech and began to pursue us, its 5-barrel chain minigun spinning up to full speed. We moved in circles, but that didn't stop one of the bullets from going straight through Helena's forehead, making us both drop her body when Helena's grip loosened. Damn it! Come on, move! I said urgently with slight frustration, but with realism. Beaconican's face paled as Helena's limp body fell from our grip. Tears immediately welled up in her eyes, but she swallowed them back down, her focus solely on survival now. We flew faster, weaving through the narrow passage is inside the volcano. We soon reached the mouth of the volcano to see that down below in the distance were the other last 5 surviving players coming this way. We should get out of sight on the other side of the volcano. They'll enter the entrance and get wiped out by the TBTBD inside. 30 or so minutes from now, my love. Beaconican nodded, her breath coming in quick gasps as she followed my lead. We quickly flew to the other side of the volcano's mouth, hiding behind a large outcrop of rock. She leaned against me, her heart pounding in her chest as she tried to catch her breath. I don't know what we could have done differently, my love. I know it seems odd to do this right now, but I can't help but love you so much. I French kissed her. She kissed back passionately despite our current situation, her arms wrapping tightly around my neck as she poured every emotion she felt into the kiss. When we finally broke apart, she rested her forehead against mine, her voice barely above a whisper. Beaconican, I love you too, so much. Then, for right now, let's rest until this game is finally done, I said with understanding. As we rest in each other's embrace, minutes passed quickly, and we were startled awake not just by the echoing screams and firing bullets, but we also felt explosion that seems to have came from the TBTBD that caused the cameras and lights around the arena walls to shut down. Holy shit. Chapter 9, A Night of Bliss with a Wish. As the cameras and lights shut down, plunging the arena into darkness and silence, Beast Connigan clung to me tightly, her eyes wide with shock. The sudden cessation of gunfire and screams was almost more unsettling than the echoes before it. She buried her face in my chest. Beast Connigan. What? Hey, I spoke softly in a soothing way, making her look into my eyes with my right index finger curled under her chin. Don't worry about anything else right now. Just focus on me. I guided her hands to under my shirt I was given with my free hand. Her breath hitched at my touch, her fingers tracing the muscles beneath my shirt in the near total darkness. The usual tension and fear melted away as she focused solely on me, running her hands up my chest. Beast Connigan, you're warm, she whispered, nuzzling closer. Beast Connigan, should we really be? Shh. I've waited too long for this. I need you, right here, right now, mistress. I spoke softly and submissively, waiting for her to let loose and have fun with me before we're taken as the victors of FDS. The submissive tone in my voice sent a thrill down her spine, and she felt a surge of power and desire. In the darkness, she felt invincible, untouchable. Her hands roamed my chest and as possessively before sliding up to the hem of my shirt. Beast Connigan. Off. I raised my arms as commanded, despite her not saying it out loud. With a swift motion, she pulled my shirt over my head, revealing my chiseled torso. Her fingers traced the lines of my muscles as she leaned into pressed kisses along my collarbone. The darkness made her feel bolder, more uninhibited. I pulled down my sweatpants and underwear for her, a certain part of my body standing up in arousal. The sound of fabric hitting the volcanic ground was nearly drowned out by her sharp inhale at the sight of me. Even in the darkness, she could see enough. Her hand wrapped around my length, choking slowly as he nipped at my bottom lip. Beast Connigan, such a good, obedient boy. She began removing her own clothes before straddling my lap. Her naked body pressed against mine, her breasts rubbing against my chest as she positioned herself over me. She lowered herself onto my legs slowly, savoring every inch until she was fully seated. Beast Connigan. She moaned softly, starting to move. I put my hands over my head before she grabbed them to hold them down on the ground. She liked that I was letting her take control, and it made her even more aroused. She rode me slowly at first, her hips rolling in a sensual rhythm as she leaned down to bite and suck on my neck. Her breast pressed against my chest with each movement, her nipples hardening from arousal and friction. I love you so much, mistress, I said submissively as I hit her neck as well, holding it while she held mine as she doesn't stop riding me. Her inner muscles tightened around me at my submissive words. She loves seeing me like this, all muscle and strength, yet so obedient and sweet. She threw her head back, giving me better access to her neck as she picked up the pace, bouncing on my length harder and faster. As we both were getting close, we both broke the skin of our necks, causing only 4 beads of blood each to come out. As I broke the skin of her neck, Miss Connigan gasped sharply, her movements faltering for a moment before they became almost frantic. She felt my warm mouth sucking at the wound, and in a moment of pure instinct, she did the same to me. Beast Connigan. She was moving wildly now until we hit our high of loving pleasure together, filling her womb at long last. She collapsed onto my chest, both of us panting heavily, our combined blood mingled on our necks, a primal mark of our intense love and submission. She kissed me deeply, tasting the coppery flavor of blood mixed with our passion. Beast Connigan. My good boy, she whispered against my lips. Her French kiss her back as I hold her lower back with one hand and the back of her head with the other before flipping her beneath me. I gently placed her head on the rock floor before joining my other hand to the one around her lower back as I began moving wildly, holding another bite on her neck. She moaned loudly as I flipped her beneath me. A wild, almost animalistic movement had her inner muscles tightening again. I hit deep spots inside her that made her whimper, my teeth sinking into her neck again only heightened her pleasure. She scored my back with her nails, marking me possessively. I only got rougher, faster, and harder as I broke my limits to please her. Her legs wrapped tightly around my waist, pulling me deeper with each brutal thrust. She cried out, her voice echoing off the volcanic rock as she clung to me desperately. My roughness pushed her over the edge again, unexpectedly fast, making her shudder violently beneath me as she came once more. Her second high of pleasure caused me to feel her wound once again. I kissed her neck with a loving, loyal lick at the wound I left on her. She panted heavily, her body still trembling from the intense orgasm, feeling my loving lick at the wound on her neck sent shivers down her spine. She wrapped her arms around my neck, pulling me down for a deep, passionate kiss as she felt my seed filling her womb again. Beast Connigan. Mine. I French kissed her back. After a moment, we heard helicopters. We should get dressed now, my love. I pulled out as I stood up before offering her my hand with a tender-hearted smile. She took my hand with a small smile. Beast Connigan, always so sweet, she murmured softly before grabbing her clothes. She watched my muscles hold back as I put my shirt on, finding it hard not to pounce on me again. She heard the helicopters too, their noise getting louder. I put my underwear and sweatpants back on, flapping my wings to get comfortable. She watched my wings spread out, finding them incredibly sexy. She quickly put on her bra and black-laced underwear, then her sweatpants and black top. She tied her hair back up in a tight bun. The helicopters were almost above us now, their spotlights scanning the ground. Not long after we were fully dressed, the spotlight found us with our hands not only clasped but also blocking the bright light with her free hands. She stood close to me, using her free hand to block the bright light from her eyes. The helicopter spotlight illuminated our intertwined hands, creating a dramatic silhouette of us two against the dark volcanic landscape. A megaphone suddenly cracked to life above us. "Soldier, get on!" We kissed before getting on the helicopter, putting a pair of headsets to cut out the noise a bit. "I guess we're the victors." I clasped my hand in Viscontigan's again. She squeezed my hand tightly, a victorious smile playing on her lips as she adjusted her headset. "Viscontigan, looks like it," she whispered into the comms, her voice low and triumphant. The helicopter began to ascend, carrying us away from the volcanic side of the battlefield. "Viscontigan, you know what this means," she murmured. "That when we get to the headquarters, we get to see